All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to break down two of the biggest names in the data governance world, AWS Lake Formation and Microsoft Purview. If you're trying to get a handle on all your data in the cloud, well, you're definitely going to want to understand exactly how these two services work and, more importantly, how they're different.
But before we get into all the nuts and bolts, let's just start with a really basic question. With all the data your company is gathering, is it actually an asset that helps you move forward? Or is it turning into this huge, messy, and kind of scary liability? That right there, that's the core problem that both of these tools are trying to solve.
And this quote from 3Cloud just hits the nail on the head. Effective governance is more than avoiding risks. It's a strategic advantage. See, this isn't just about playing defense or avoiding fines. It's about turning your data into a powerhouse that actually gives you an edge. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start by setting the stage with the modern data governance challenge. Then we'll properly introduce Lake Formation and Purview. After that, we'll get into their core philosophies, which is super important, before putting their features head-to-head. We'll wrap up with their key strengths and a quick look at the future. Let's get to it.
All right, first up, let's talk about the problem we're actually trying to fix here. The whole challenge of modern data governance is really about one thing: taming the absolute chaos of the modern data estate.
So what is this chaos? Well, think about it. For most companies, data isn't in one nice, neat little box anymore. Oh no. It is scattered absolutely everywhere. You've got on-prem servers, you've got multiple clouds, you've got dozens of SaaS apps. Just trying to make sure all of that data is secure, reliable, and actually usable, it's a massive headache for IT teams.
And this, of course, is where the cloud giants AWS and Microsoft step in. So let's meet their answers to this challenge: Lake Formation and Purview.
First, from the AWS camp, we have Lake Formation. The official line is that it's a fully managed service that, and here's the key word, simplifies the process of setting up, securing, and managing your data lakes. The whole idea is to take a process that used to be a huge, months-long project and shrink it down to just a matter of days. Now, in the Microsoft corner, there's Purview. And listen closely to the language here. It's not just a service, it's a family of solutions to manage your entire data estate. That phrasing alone kind of gives you a hint that we're talking about a much broader scope. Right? It's not just about the data lake.
And that brings us to what is probably the most important difference between them. It all comes down to their fundamental approach, their core philosophy. And we can sum it up as lake versus estate.
I love this analogy because it makes everything click. Think of AWS Lake Formation as the high-tech, laser-grid security system for one single massive bank vault. And that vault is your AWS data lake. Its main job is to lock that one vault down with incredible granular control. Microsoft Purview, it's more like the master librarian for an entire university campus. It's not just guarding one building, its job is to create a card catalog for every single book in every library on and off campus.
So if you remember one thing about Lake Formation, it's this: secure the lake. Its prime directive is to put a strong, centralized, easy-to-manage security layer right on top of your data lake in S3. It's all about deep, focused control. And for Purview, the mantra is totally different: map the estate. Its core mission is to create a unified map, a single pane of glass, for all your data assets no matter where they are, so you can finally know what you have, what it means, and where it came from.
Okay, so we've got the philosophy down. Now let's see how that actually translates into the features and capabilities of these tools. Time for a direct head-to-head comparison.
Let's start with access control. Lake Formation, true to its Secure the Vault mission, is all about super granular control. We're talking table, column, and even row-level security. It gives you a scalpel for permissions inside the AWS ecosystem. Purview, on the other hand, thinks bigger. It's about creating unified policies that apply across your entire data estate, and it plugs into things like Microsoft Fabric to enforce those rules everywhere.
And this chart just lays it out so clearly. You can see right away Lake Formation's primary scope is the AWS Data Lake, S3 and Glue. And it's deeply integrated with other AWS services like Athena and QuickSight. But look at Purview, its scope is multi-cloud and hybrid. And its connectors, it covers a massive ecosystem that even includes AWS S3 plus SAP, Oracle, Snowflake, you name it. It really drives home that whole map the world philosophy.
So we've seen how they stack up. Now let's just boil it all down. Where does each of these services truly shine? Let's talk key strengths. For AWS Lake Formation, the strengths are really clear-cut. First, it makes setting up a data lake way easier.
Second, that fine-grained access control down to the column and row level, that is a huge deal for security and compliance. It also centralizes all the governance for your AWS Glue data catalog, and it's great at sharing data across different AWS accounts. And because it's all built on Amazon S3, the storage is incredibly cost-effective.
Now let's talk about Microsoft Purview. Its #1 strength is that unified data catalog that can see across multi-cloud and hybrid sources. It sees everything. It also comes packed with over 200 pre-built data classifications, so you can get started really fast. The huge differentiator, though, is its AI power, especially with the deep Microsoft Copilot integration. And of course, its native integration into the rest of the Microsoft world, like Fabric and M365, is just incredibly powerful if you're already in that ecosystem.
Okay, let's bring this all home and look to the future. What's the final takeaway here?
You know, at the end of the day, the crucial thing to understand isn't which tool is better. That's really the wrong question. The point is that they represent two completely different but equally powerful philosophies. Are you trying to secure a centralized data lake, like a fortress? Or are you trying to map a sprawling federated data estate, like an explorer? The answer to that question will tell you which tool is the right fit. And that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As data just keeps spreading out, becoming more and more decentralized across countless clouds and apps, is a single unified governance plane that can see and map everything the ultimate answer? It's a key question that's probably going to define the next chapter in how we all manage data, something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.